Couple minutes late. Technology is not my strong suit. We are live today with Julie Edmonds, who, again, full disclosure, is a personal friend. I've known her for a long time. She's a very successful business owner, runs a company that's in multiple states. She's been in business for how long?
2 years.
Started when she was 10.
Like 25, okay,
25
30,
years.
I don't know.
So, I mean, she's opened up different locations throughout 20 different states. She's done tens and millions of dollars in sales, and really helped many people to be very, very successful. So we're lucky to be able to get down and sit with her today. How you doing, Julie?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. This is an honor. It's good to see you.
It's fun. We just do it because it allows people to get an interview, and then I don't know. You got to have a digital footprint these days. You got to.
I've never done a live stream, so this is, well, I mean, everything we do is live anyway, so, but this is like my first, so I'm going to channel my Oprah Winfrey, okay, so.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Oprah's good.
Yeah.
So the format is very simple. I give everybody the questions ahead of time. The whole point isn't to stump anybody or anything else. It's kind of like this. Everybody thinks they're the only one to go through whatever it is, fill in the blank. So it's nice to have a discussion, because I believe success comes from discussion, and make other people experience the fact that they aren't the only one to whatever it is. So we go through a few questions.
Okay.
Your background, like where did you go to college?
I went to school and I grew up in Lafayette, Louisiana. So the university, I was a Ragin' Cajun. So.
All right. That's good.
And I'm like sporting this side ponytail. So I don't know. It's like back in the 80s trying to fix it. All right, there we go.
So I'm out in the pool house and the humidity is just banging. It rained about an hour ago. So I'm like trying to mat my hair down.
Oh, you got a good look.
We're working on it. All right. So, and you have 3 kids. How old are your kids these days?
3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. So 6, that's a good question though. 16, 13, and 8.
Wow.
So boy, and a girl. So.
Really? She got the girl.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. All right. So
She's a boss.
currently Julie runs her business in South Florida. So it's hot down there too, right?
Yeah, it's snowing today, but yeah. Last I checked, it's a little hot. So.
No doubt. All right, so we got 5 questions. We try to keep this to a reasonable amount of time. And the first one is pretty simple. What would people be most surprised to know about you?
I didn't know how to answer that. I mean, first I put my hair in a ponytail because it's tangled all the time. But I have 2 cats. But, obviously I've coached my whole life and trained and things like that. And I've always, we go through patterns and issues and limiting beliefs and all kinds of crazy things that stop us and get us to, not perform and have sabotaging thoughts and things. And, one thing I've always been fascinated with is just sort of like going underneath and figuring out what the root causes of are a lot of those problems. And so, this is new for me, but a year ago during the pandemic, I started studying hypnotherapy. And so it's just a study where, you kind of like tap into your alpha wave and you kind of let go of you let go of your conscious mind and go down to the root causes of the problem. And I love just like tapping in and finding out what lies underneath. And it's fascinating. I mean, I've just found out I've been the client and the therapist. I've got an opportunity to practice a lot. It's just an extension of coaching. That's all it is. It's like a deeper extension of coaching. And I've found like there's 3 main things that everyone struggles with, and any problem they have, whether it's procrastination or same old limiting beliefs or patterns, or you sabotage yourself. It really boils down to either, and then you figure, you maneuver your way through those, but they're not enough, too different, or something's not available. So I'm not enough, not smart enough, not fast enough, not healthy enough, too different, like too white, too black, too whatever, too Latino, too English, too whatever, or things aren't available. So like everyone else, health is available to them except for me. And so I love like going down beneath that and you just kind of like redefine it. And it's like really upped my game hugely, with coaching. I mean, I'm so fascinated and I've found like massive, results from it. So I don't know if anybody's surprised by that, but
you're it was
too. What's that?
You're a little bit of a hippie. New age, but still.
Look into my eyes. No, I'm just kidding.
No, absolutely. All right, cool. All right, number two. What are some of the most difficult hurdles that you've had to overcome?
Um, I love this question because it's like I was always an extroverted person and pretty bold growing up, and I had three brothers. I learned to fight, but when I started my career, I was so scared of everything. Like I was just, this. Like I went through massive like panic attacks. I was scared to public speak. I was scared to train people. I was scared of success. I was scared of failure. I was scared of interviewing. I was scared of like ordering a pizza over the phone. And everything terrified me. And so I think like going into, and I picked the most uncomfortable role of direct sales, outside sales, commission only, probably on purpose because I didn't want to live with that fear. And it was like eating me alive. And I doubted everything I did, like that imposter syndrome. Like I never thought that I could do it or handle it, but I just did it anyway. And I think like the driving factor also was the fear. I mean, being so freaking scared of like my own shadow, for instance, like, every time I had to get up to speak, I thought I was going to throw up. And having to run my own business, it was something I always wanted, but just like having to manage people, I'd look at them like, I'm supposed to help you, I can't even help myself. Just going through like really difficult periods in the first year of running my business and just like broke, and like just telling myself that I can't do it, and telling myself I'm not good, and telling myself and these like self-sabotaging beliefs. The only thing is like I didn't quit. And I was just very thankful of that. Like I could have given up on myself 5 million times. And I thank God I had some people around me that helped me see a vision. And one of them was like, look, just keep sticking through it. You'll get through it one day. And like, and then you overcome those hurdles. And then you look back and go, I made those up, a lot of them. Like a lot of those things were just challenges that I made up in my own head. But, you got to figure it out. So I had this term, I found that the thing that I was teaching the most was breaking comfort zones, and we teach what we need to learn, honestly. And I learned that later. So everything that you're so drawn to teaching is you're telling yourself that too. And so, one of my things was always like break comfort zones or, live in the uncomfortable, all those things. And someone asked me what my favorite quote was, and fortune favors the bold. And I finally, I kind of coined this term because we had to do these posters, with our clients, managed to do these posters. And I put, the only way through it is through it. It's not going to change. You got to just keep on walking. And there's always light at the end of that tunnel. There's always something great. And, when it's challenging, you're learning. And now that I live my life like that, when I'm challenged, I know I'm just gearing up for something good, and so there's always light at that, behind that darkness. And that's kind of the biggest obstacle. And it's sort of something that's keeps replaying in my life.
Yeah, no, it doesn't go away and being uncomfortable and whatnot, but you're right. Like I saw over the years, I've met a lot of people who are just come into something and they're just good at it. Well, I find they cap out early because they don't understand not understanding. They don't understand not being just naturally good at it, whether it could be a sport, it could be business, any aspect of business. And I found over time the people who have to kind of fight through it are the ones that go farther because they're used to the battle. They're ready to get it done. They're ready to get busy. And other people are just used and again, it's not everybody, but some people it's just so natural to them. It's easy. They don't gain that strength
Totally.
of fighting.
It's the grit. You learn the grit.
Absolutely. Whether you like it or not. Everybody gets.
Well, I know how to fight. Okay, so I can pull the warrior out when I need to.
All right, number 3. What's your why for success, and has it changed from when you started, Mila? Kind of what drives you?
For sure, things change. And like early on, like right out of college, there's something I knew I wanted. I always knew that I wanted to run my own business. That was just something that I always felt. I always knew that I wanted to be financially independent, and I always knew I wanted a family. I wanted those 3 things, and I wanted them all together. I didn't know how I was going to get there. I had no money. I was broke. I had no path. I don't know how I was going to run my own business, and I was even single. So, but that was a driving thing. And so when I was introduced into some positions where I knew I was around some people that ran their own business, and that was a route for me. I was like, I'm doing this, and I became consumed by it, and I was just go 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 go, make it happen, make it happen. And that was my middle name. I'm going to make it happen. And that's when all the fear and anxiety was like living around me, and I had to figure out how to get rid of that, because I think I wanted something so bad enough that I wanted to just like work through the fear to get it. And that's really what drove me to things like that. Fear was like, you're not going to stop me. I don't want to live like this. I want to be peaceful in my brain, but I also want these things. And that means I have to conquer the fear, then that's what I'm going to do. And so, yeah, I fought through that. And so that was the thing. And then eventually now I have those three things, and I love it. I love, my kids, obviously, and my life, and I do well for myself. But so now, obviously, my why has changed. And one of the big things is, when you have kids, you have two kids, two beautiful kids, everything changes. So learning to be like the best mom ever, and telling myself I can do it and be a good mother and being a great influence. But I realized, I've had external goals still, but I've learned just in the past couple of years only to like internalize. It's more like what drives me now is like peace of mind, wisdom, balance, open heart, just like knowing that trust that things will work out, letting go of these giant expectations that I held on to, and just know that whatever happens, happens. And that's good. We always say things don't happen to you, they happen for you. Yeah. But I also don't even think that. I think they happen as you. Like your life is a mirror image of yourself and how you show up. And when I learned that just recently, and I start changing the way I'm showing up, wow, everything else around me changed. Imagine that.
So I always say it takes time or I say it took me years to get good at what I do and decades to get good at who I am.
I saw your quote. I love that. I love that.
I think most people don't realize, because that's part of life's journey, is how, what is it Tony Robbins always says? He says, it's not becoming successful that is the point. It's who you have to become to be the success. Like whether it's $1 million a year or 10 million a year, whatever it is, it's who you need to become that is able to create that outcome.
Brad, you said that to me like probably 20 years ago. If you want all this, you have to become the person first. And I've never forgotten that. That was very wise. In your wise wisdom, and your good advice that you've given me. Most of it's been good. No, I'm kidding.
Well, when I started working with you, you were running a pretty good sized business outside of a 10 by 10 office. Glad we got you out of there.
Oh yeah, God, that was hard, and my computer was so bad.
Yeah, there was no side to it. It was just pieces.
I think it was the dumpster. You walked out in the backyard, and there was just like a dumpster when you opened the door. We're like, we got to get you out of here. That was funny.
Absolutely. And that's 20 years ago, because I'm about to have my 20th wedding anniversary. So 19 years ago, because my first wedding anniversary, I was down there working with you. So
I remember. I do remember that.
Absolutely.
With your golf clubs.
Yes. I didn't play, not one time. No. But I had a plan.
You did have a plan. You got to add some fun into there. Oh, did you have a cool car, though?
Absolutely. Yeah, I bought that off Anthony Escobedo's dad. He got it for me wholesale. I drove it. It was a Firebird. I forget which one. But I drove it down there for like 4 months, and then I sold it for $300 less than I paid for it.
Wow.
So drive a car for 4 months for $300? It's pretty good.
That's amazing.
Better than renting a car.
Yeah, for sure. And it was a cool car.
Yeah, it was fun. All right, number 4, outside of business, what makes you happy? Hobbies, just other things you like to do.
What things? Well, obviously I have kids, love to travel. I just took them to Sedona, and so we did we
took your kids
stargazing and hiking, and in Arizona we did
Arizona.
tubing, and then we saw some magic shows. It was fun. was
Very,
great. Uno at night. I'd like
uh,
to say I won, but I didn't. So
Brandy was the Uno champion until my daughter Kathleen. She just crushes us.
she crushes her, huh?
She's vicious, vicious.
You told me she has, as long as she uses her powers for good, not
For good,
evil,
not
right?
evil. Yeah, she's vicious. Where's
But I
the?
also, oh, sorry.
You traveled a lot of places. Where's your favorite place?
Well, that depends who I'm with. So, I grew up in Louisiana. I love New Orleans. It's a fun
Of
time.
course, but like
But
what trip? Like say family or as an.
I love Paris. I love
Yeah.
Paris. I went to the Amalfi Coast a few years ago.
I haven't been there yet. Is it?
Oh my God, put it on the list. It is the culture, the people, the food, just the way of life. They're just free spirited and crazy, and the food we were just eating right out of the Mediterranean. It was. We rented Ferraris in wine country. I mean, that was just
Oh, that's
it was just a memory. It was just it was such a good memory.
it's one
Um,
of those places where when you see the pictures, they're so beautiful it looks fake.
Yeah, for sure. And then they don't even do justice. Like when you're there, it's just like, oh my God, where am I?
Yeah,
I mean, I
definitely.
know I'm in a different world. So yeah, I love to travel. I'm a DIY. I do it myself. I'm a creative, so I reupholster stuff all the time. I paint. Someone was saying the other day, like, you did that you painted the walls by yourself. I was like, why wouldn't I? Of course I did. I love to decorate and I love to write. I'm a writer, and so my next life, I'm going to write books that become movies, and
Oh, very cool. I'll be
that's
sure to
cool.
watch the movie.
I'll give you tickets. We'll be at the Oscars.
I'm in. I'm in. We'll go to what was it? We've
Think
done,
big, right? Got to
yeah.
have
No,
some
the
wild
movie
goals.
Brandy and I executive produced. We saw it at Parks. Uh, what is the film festival in Park City? Um,
I don't know. Consville? Wait, what are you talking about?
the film festival where they open up new movies. Forget what it's called.
There's a lot of them.
Robert Redford's thing, whatever that is. All right, last question. What are your favorite success habits, and are there any habits that you had to leave behind?
Well, I'll tell you what I used to do,
Sure.
and now what I do. So, you know, honestly, like, and someone like pointed this out. When I would wake up, there's a good success habit, I think. And my feet hit the floor. In my mind, I was already 10 steps behind. And it's like rush to do my morning routine and then rush in the car and then rush to get to the office and rush to hit my goals and rush to get home and then rush to relax and then wake up and do it all over again. Because, I always had this like, we got to make it happen. Come on. And, where it gave me a sense of urgency to like not procrastinate. And so there was some good discipline in there to like keep it moving and create that inertia of the momentum or whatever. I realized that part of me was always just unhappy because when you live in the future, you're never going to get there because you're just like, okay, next, but I'm still trying to get to the future because and then you start losing out on moments.
Yeah.
And again, that's hard to, it served me well for a long time, but not after a while when I realized it was creating anxiety because you're like, I need to get to, or just like unsettled feelings. But then when you live in the past, that's more depressing because you're just thinking, oh, whatever, all those good times or whatever, and you're feeling all of that. And so I realized like the power of now and how much peace and creativity and how much more bandwidth I have. And so when I started like not using up all that mental energy to like what's next, because that what's next is going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm still doing the same stuff every day, but my mind is not like racing to that next thing. It suddenly opened up so much more time. I'm like, how do I have all this time? I always had all that time, but it was so bombarded with just mental energy that was exhausting me. And so finally, when I realized live now in the present, and obviously I have goals, and yes, I'm moving towards certain things. But when I opened that up, I had so much more creativity, so much more energy, so much more motivation or inspiration or whatever word you want to fill in the blank with. it just blew me away. I'm like, God, I was living my whole life and it was good. But so now my success habit is I'm in the here and now. I'm here with you. I'm enjoying my time. It's not like let's get it over with, you know? And yeah, that's it. Like I've really learned to find some peace in my heart with that and trust. I know that good things are going to happen.
You know, that's a great habit and a great mindset because, and I've done the same thing. I have to move to here. I got to get to here. I got to get to
For
here.
sure. It's an entrepreneurial mindset, you know, it's just.
And you can still get there, but you don't have to live there.
Exactly.
And, you know, I've been victim of that. Like I've been with my kids thinking about work and I shouldn't do that. Also shouldn't be at work thinking about the kids. I should be being the most effective where I am because that way I can go on to whatever's next.
Totally.
I think, you know, for me, and I don't know what I was thinking about this today. I was thinking about this. If the 12-year-old me knew my life, would the 12-year-old me be happy about it?
Huh.
It just came to me. I was grabbing some stuff. I got Kathleen's at an art camp this week, so I was grabbing some stuff. So I'm trying to go in real quick, take a quick break, grab some stuff. And I was like, I wonder if my 12-year-old self, which because when you're 12, everything's possible and you're going to take over the world and all this stuff. Would my 12-year self be happier? So it's a kind of it's a bit of it. I'm throwing it on you.
What's your answer?
You know, I think my 12-year-old self would be okay. I think my 12-year-old self would be happy because my goal was to be an auto mechanic. So I think I'm in a better place.
You surpass that, yeah. Well, no, there's not. Yeah, but that's a good thing.
Nothing wrong being an
we all need that, yeah.
No, I know lots of them who have done incredibly well because they
for sure
mechanic and now they own the shop and shops.
Right.
So would your 12-year-old self be happy with where you are?
Would my 12-year-old? Yes.
Well,
now I couldn't say that years ago, but I can now. I've gone back and reframed a lot of things. So
that's awesome.
I'm happy with. I'm happy with who I am and where I'm going and what I've done with my life. And I tell myself those are affirmations too. You know, like my quote is change the way you think, create the life you want. And when we have self-sabotaging thoughts, that's the world we live in, you know? And so when you say I'm happy, I'm excited, I love and it's not all perfect, trust me. Like,
no.
But, you know, it's crazy town around here a lot, but instead of looking at it like, oh God, it's crazy town. It's like, oh, this is awesome. It's crazy town. I'm excited, you know?
And I always look at too, like part of it is how you think, but also how you feel. So I think projected feelings are like power. When you add feeling to what you're doing, you get stronger, more powerful, you connect better, you just change everything about whatever it is you were doing. So I really believe in focused emotion.
Yeah. Inject the emotion.
Totally. Can you
That's awesome.
I don't know, I'm just checking for can you hear thunder from my end?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, it's about to pour.
Oh, really?
Well, those are our questions today, and I even hit you with a bonus question. I'm glad the answer was yes.
No, I love that question. I do. I love it. I'm pretty transparent. So I'm sure there are times my 12-year-old self would be like, what the heck are you doing? Oh my God. No, this is not how it was supposed to be.
Tell your 12-year-old self to chill out. Well, Julie, thanks again for joining me. I really appreciate it. We're not going to do a live stream next week. I'm going to be in St. Martin, so
fun.
Tough
life, Brad. Tough life.
Yeah, I try to suffer through. I do my best. It's funny. St. Martin's the first nice place I've ever been, and I haven't been back in 30 years. So I'm kind of interested to see if it is actually nice or just nicer than the crummy neighborhood I grew up in.
Oh, that sounds fun. Like, yeah, stay tuned, right? So, well, thanks for having me. You know, very, very honored, and you're always a great friend. So,
thanks, Jules. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.